I'm Tanner Thorson, and this is The Skinny.
From the Fatheads Eyewear Studios in Speedway, Indiana, this is The Skinny. Brought to you by Toyota, Rhino Classifieds, General Tire, and Dream Giveaway. This segment of The Skinny is brought to you by Toyota. Welcome to The Skinny. We have a very special guest that will join us here today. Ken Stout, Rico Elmore back on the set. Welcome back, my friend. I know you had a busy week at the Chili Bowl.
I did. It was highly intoxicating. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Infectious, if you will. So the guest that we will have on here today is an extremely talented race car driver and has been proving that for a number of years. If you're in the open wheel ranks, meaning sprint cars, midgets, you certainly are very familiar with his name, but he might be one of the most successful drivers you've never heard of if you're not in those ranks. His name's Tanner Thorson, originally out of Nevada, but now in the Oklahoma area, driving for Reinbold Underwood Motorsports this past week in a Spike with a Stanton, and put that Stanton on top of the box, and that beautiful golden driller sitting right alongside. For 36 years, they've been competing at the Chili Bowl, and he became the 22nd different winner at the Chili Bowl. It is not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. And Tanner, man, oh man, you've been close. You've been close a number of times, and certainly had everything that you needed, I think, to win it, but just couldn't get there. And you were proof to the point of how difficult it is to win that race.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for having me on, first of all. And yeah, it was difficult over the years. I've had great cars and good owners over the years, but nothing tops this year. Car wise, car owner, team, everybody affiliated with my race car is why it was possible. So it was a good year. Last year was my best year of trying, right? I ran third, and I knew we had more in the tank, just kind of used my race car up at the start to middle of last year's race, and just knew I needed to be up front at the start of this one.
Yeah, you talk about last year. I would even go back to 2017, 2018. Both of those years, you came from the soup, man. You came from the C to finish fourth. Extremely impressive run. And then as you talked about last year in 21, actually in 2015 and 2021, you came out of the B, finished fourth in 2015, and then as you talked about, finished third in 2021 behind Justin Grant, behind Kyle Larson, and you're watching those guys. What's going through your brain? I mean, are you thinking, like, what does it take to finally beat these guys?
Yeah, I've beat Larson, beat Grant before in years past, and racing outdoors, and I knew they were going to both have really good cars, just based off their prelim nights, and it was just a matter of kind of being there at the end. I knew right before I got behind them, that my car was kind of used up just based off tires, and I could feel that my tires were getting lower on air under those last few yellows, and it was just a matter of having the car. I was the only way I was going to really capitalize last year was based off of them two wrecking each other, and it came pretty damn close. So, and I almost obviously got in the wreck as well, but my car was just used up last year. It was bent from my prelim night when I flipped in the heat race, and I was just kind of going off of ride heights and not really blocks, to set it up. So it was beat up, and but we made the best of it.
Yeah, unbelievable. I stopped by your pit on the way out. I was beat up myself by then, so I had to exit. Couldn't keep up couldn't keep up anymore. So, but no, man, congratulations. I mean, we've been doing this a long time, and of course, Stout was part of the original, HBO pay-per-view. What, 10 years ago? Is that what we just
2008.
Said? Yeah, 2008, and we've been going there a long time. We've watched a lot of people run through that place and get ran over by that place, literally. And for you to be able to pull it off, I mean, it was awesome to see, because friends with a lot of the guys out there, Larson, Bell, Grant, all those guys, known them all for a long time, but it was fun to see somebody else put it together, and it was one of those things where, uh, you know, Monday night you don't have any idea who's going to be where, and so I mean, I would like, I guess I'd like to see the odds, the Vegas odds, what that would look like, because I bet there's some dark horses there that come through that you just don't even think would be there.
Yeah, and actually on Monday night I was doing my prep work Monday, Tuesday. We're listening to Flo and watching all the races, and as I was doing my stats on you, I looked at that and I was like, man, he's due. Like you were my pick on Monday night. If I had to pick a driver on Monday night, you were my pick, and the next one was going to be Justin Grant. I just figured you were due. I mean, and looking at what you had done and run through the soup, and I mean, a three-time National Midget Driver of the Year, 2016 USAC National Midget Champion. I mean, you're a dude that not only can you get it done, but you've proven that you've been doing it for many, many years, so it's not by happen chance. And then I thought it was super cool what Rico said after the end of the race. They were interviewing Rico, and he said, it's really cool that Tanner Thorson won this thing because he's not just a driver. He's a guy that owns a team. He's a guy that works on the race car, builds the race car, drives the race car. I mean, he takes care of everything. So it's really cool to see somebody that's hands-on come out here and secure the deal.
Yeah, I wish I owned the team, but
Well, I
I
know
couldn't
this team
ask for
you
him.
don't, but you know what he meant.
Yeah, yeah. So, I grew up with Rico racing, go karts with them, and then his dad actually picked me up to run their outlaw kart program, and we won multiple championships and won every race under the moon, as far as outlaw karts out on the West Coast. And um, David is like another father to me. I talk to him multiple times a week, and um, there's that those two guys are like family. It's a brother father figure to me. So to hear that from Rico, to be able to race against Rico head to head, it's awesome. And um, he gets it. He understands, and I think he was a little more happy for me because of that. Obviously, it just our relationship over the years. So um, it's pretty awesome. It's hard to kind of speak on it just because I still haven't let this really. I mean, I've been trying, but it's still unbelievable. I don't even know if this sucker's real or not. So um,
It was real.
it's yeah, it's just pretty awesome to hear that. Keith also came up, Bell, and just everybody that have had such a strong impact over the last, well, since 2000 probably 10 for me through Rico and David, but after that, Keith and Bell and even Larson, just racing with them and learning so much from them. It's pretty awesome to hear what they've said to me and about me.
So a quick question to you, because you said you could feel the tire getting soft a little bit later in the race, and I don't know if that you were referring to this year, if you were referring to 21, but what happens there? What's the dynamics that the pressure would be going low later on in a race like that?
So I was kind of referring to 21, but even this year, I could kind of feel it. 2021, I just ran the tire so hard and was sliding guys left and right, and coming from the back up to the front, I just put a lot of wear and tear on your tire and kind of make it, like gum. So and just kind of gooey and doesn't really get traction like it would before. And I started feeling that a little bit at the end of this year, just based off the line I was running in 3 and 4 and kind of sliding myself and trying to get to the grip. But yeah, it just changes your kind of feel of the race car. And um, with my shock package and with factory cane shocks, and now these new torsion arms that I have on from Stevie Smith, new tie torsion arms. I have a lot of feel in my race car, and I don't know if it's just me kind of learning about my race car and knowing about my race car or whatnot, but I sure know like shocks and rear torsion arms and even my front springs with Draco, the Purple Spring Company. Um, I have a lot of feel in my race car, so I can kind of tell when something's going away or getting better. So just kind of you got to change your driving style up a little bit, and um, as those tire pressures were going down, you try to keep them warmed up to keep air in them, but you don't want to warm up too much under the yellow because you don't want them to, get gummy again. So it's kind of a weird sensation, right? It's just a different deal that you kind of have to take your best judgment on and go for it.
Talk to me about the dampers on that thing, the shocks on that thing. Is that something? Do you revalve those yourself? I'm clearly you have a shock dyno. You're going to make sure everything matches. But if you get to a place like that and you're not happy with it, I know you have a lot of experience there at the Chili Bowl, so you probably show up with those things right in the window. But is it something that do you ever take those things apart and revalve them when you're at an event?
I don't. Willie Kane with Factor Kane shocks and Cole Kane, they've got me set up pretty good. If I don't like a shock, I got a couple in the trailer that I can switch to go back to baseline and make sure it's not the shocks and make sure it's a car or vice versa. So yeah, we've definitely had times, throughout the year where I send shocks back next day and up to Washington and they next day I'm right back just to keep me, satisfied with what we got going. So um, Willie Kane and Cole, they're probably the two biggest supporters of my race car and my team. They want nothing but the best for me, and they go above and beyond with anything dumb or stupid I want to try if they think it's dumb, just so I have a feel that I want. So I don't necessarily take them apart. I have changed shafts and bodies on them before in a nick of time, just because we don't have time the next day and back and forth. But um, Willie's so smart with the shock game, and I know what I want to feel, and I got my numbers, and he's got his numbers, and we got a good game plan around it.
Great experience for sure. Hey, we're going to take a quick break here. We have the 2022 Chili Bowl Nationals winner with us here today on the Skinny, Tanner Thorson. Stick with us. We'll be right back in just a moment.
This segment of The Skinny has been brought to you by General Tire. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 Mud Terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today.
This segment of The Skinny is brought to you by Rhino Classifieds. Tired of all those ads and random stuff that shows up when you're looking to buy or sell your car parts? Rhino Classifieds was created just for you. Welcome to a streamlined buying and selling app created by racers for racers and race fans. Modified cars, classic cars, race cars, that special big block you need, the trailer to move your baby around the country in. We got you at rhino.co. Once again, welcome back to The Skinny. We have Tanner Thorson with us here today, of course, fresh off of his win in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the 36th running of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. An incredible run here. Hey, man, I got to take you into this race. So you do a great job. You follow. You keep up with Bell. Of course, Bell started off on the pole. You had a great run. I guess we should back up a little bit more. A great run in your heat race. First heat race of the week for you, and every driver that I heard said that's the most difficult race of the week. You go from 9th to 2nd, and then 6th to 3rd in your qualifier. So a beautiful job there on your prelim night. Set you up great. You do a great job on the pole shuffle as well. Pick your way forward on that with the exception of Bell and start there on the front row. So you keep up with him, follow him through traffic. He's not getting away, and finally you get your opportunity to get in front of him, man. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Start of the race, that pole shuffle, I wanted to start on the bottom of the racetrack just based off of the years past of how much they worked the racetrack, and so I was gonna go after Bell or let Rico go by and try to be third, and I looked up at the board and saw Rico was back there right with Grant, and I knew if I let Rico by and Grant got by me, then I'd be sitting there second row outside and even a worse spot. So kind of went after Bell and started from there and was able to kind of, slide bell on that pole shuffle. So I kind of knew where we kind of stood off and um, started that race. I went from the outside and dove in right behind him and followed him for quite some time. He pulled away from me at the start, and I was having a hard time, not hard time, but I was having some difficulty keeping my front end on the ground. And um, that was just due to how much grip there was and how much drive my car had. So I knew I was set up pretty good for the end of that race because Bell was able to just really yank away from me, and I was trying my hardest to stay with them, but I didn't want to wear my stuff out as well. So, we raced, and I kept showing him my nose once he got to lap traffic and trying to get him to kind of either go to the top or try something and keep pressure on him so he knew I was there. And, we got a yellow, and then finally he went up to the top, and I followed him and was able to stay right with him when he got to lap traffic again. Um, got to lap traffic again, and he yanked away from. He got through them guys really easily and yanked away. And I think he might have had about a straightaway on me. And I finally got by them guys, and I ran him back down really quick. And then a yellow came out. So that yellow came out. Buddy threw a slider on me on the restart, and I knew it was time to get going then because you definitely don't want to be under fire from a Keith Kunz car. You're right. I mean, they got the best, probably the most stout team out there from the first driver to the last driver. And as soon as that happened, I knew I had to get going, and I was able to run a line after I crossed Buddy over that I happened to be looking at when I was rolling around there under yellow. But Buddy actually forced me to run it, and that was the race winner right there. That was the line that won me the race. So was able to kind of run the slider line 3 and 4, caught on Bell, and then the next lap I did it again and was able to just drive away.
Yeah, it pretty amazing to watch. But one of the things that I wanted to tell you that in all the years that of course we've been going, there's been success by many different engine builders, but to watch Stanton get back there, it was pretty unbelievable because you know what? There's probably nobody that works much harder than those guys in the gig. And, Eric's at the track supporting these guys all the time. And it was awesome. I was happy for them as well as, the team and some new blood up there running that thing. So, and you were talking about David Abreu. What an amazing guy. When we raced Sonoma for the NHRA event, we went and had lunch with him. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to go on up to the house or up to the, winery with him, which I heard got even more interesting. So I'm very upset that I missed that. But
I can only imagine.
Yeah, right. But it was, I really, really enjoy spending time with him. I mean, he's an amazing guy and geez, smart beyond smart with many things, but has helped a lot of people out in racing that I don't think a lot of people know. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I'll touch on Gary real quick and David. Gary. So I actually ran for Fike, the Fike 3 cars that Darren Hagen ran for at one point, and I actually got Gary his first win with the SR11 through them, and it was my second race in that car. So to be able to do that, right, and build a relationship with Gary, even though I wasn't running his motors, because at that time I was running for Keith and for Toyota. I built a relationship there, and then once I got the 3C stuff, we kind of picked up on our friendship and everything at that point. And to win the Chili Bowl with the SR11 for its very first time and put Gary back in victory lane since I want to say 2005, maybe 5 or 6, whatever year Tracy Hines won, is incredible. I mean, that dude is one of the biggest badasses in racing, and people don't really know how much he has done for the sport when it comes down to wing cars, Silver Crown, everything. So, him and Eric work above and beyond for me. I call him up bitching a lot, and I also call up and thank him a lot. So um,
That's good
Gary's
because a
Gary and
lot of
Eric.
racers don't thank. They just bitch a lot. They don't thank you afterwards. So that's cool. That's good to hear.
Yeah, I'm hard on them guys. I'm hard on them guys. It's you kind of have to be if you want success. And at first they're probably like, oh, this kid, and now like when I call them and bitch about them, they know it's a legit reason or there's something legit wrong. So I haven't had to bitch at them lately, so that's been nice. So, but Gary is more deserving of this. Him and Eric are more deserving of this win and putting the SR11 back in victory lane and with or him back in victory lane at Chili Bowl and then the SR11 in victory lane than anybody in that pit. I'd say no one's went with this motor, and I've seen it. It was drawn out on a napkin, and Gary got it done. So, um,
It's
and then
wild.
David Avery's, like I said, father figure to me, and just one of the best guys in my I don't know what you'd say, in my
You got a
friendship
good.
relationship, but he's a good person. Yeah, just all around good person.
We'll take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with a little more from Tanner Thorson. This segment of The Skinny is brought to you by Toyota. Once again, welcome back to The Skinny. We have the winner from the 36th running of the Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals on with us, Tanner Thorson, an incredible run. And we were kind of talking our way through that race. I want to finish that subject up because with 6 to go, you guys were in the thick of traffic. You had Brady Bacon, and I believe it was Shane Golobic, if I'm not mistaken, right there in front of you guys. And suddenly Bell came from nowhere, slid you, took the lead. Right about then, Brady Bacon and Golobic get together. Brady Bacon goes to the second story, slams that thing on the ground. You did hit Golobic, and I was curious, man, is he going to have a right rear flat or something? Because you hit him enough to move the car, and somehow Bell slid through. But talk me through that little scenario.
Yeah, just everybody racing as hard as they can, right? I mean, we got there's 390 cars or something, and those were the fastest 24 cars out there. So, um, everybody's just running for position, and it's hard. It was hard to pass, and just like Thursday night, it's almost better to be running second. And Bell got by me, and I knew I had a fast enough car. As soon as he showed me he was there, I was going back for it, and obviously lucky enough for me, there was a yellow, and was able to keep my spot. But I don't think that would have changed if there wasn't a yellow. I was down and determined about that. So yeah, I got into I think it was actually Colby Copeland that was in that car maybe.
Oh, Kobe Copeland. Yes,
Um,
yes, yes, yes. My
yeah,
bad.
I
Yeah,
think it
not
was.
Golobic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. And I hit him. I hit him hard, and lucky enough, I got Spike Chassis build me custom side bumpers and rear bumpers that don't necessarily bend very easy. So we'll say that. And it pushed this bumper about half inch away from my tire, my right rear tire, and I mean it had to have been
Ooh.
super close when the tire would have blown up. So thank God for them Nerf bars, because if I didn't have those, it would have been in the tire for sure, and would have lost the tire.
Yeah, and we saw that happen a number of times where those Nerf bars get pushed back into the tire, and their night's done. And yeah, I was watching that, and I was like, well, of course, the yellow flag benefited you. I was really curious what your thoughts were, if you would have been able to have something to pass him back. Clearly, you do feel that way, and I thought it was really cool what you said earlier in the interview as well. Whenever you said, man, I was a little too hooked up, and he was hooked up perfect early on, so you kind of knew it was going to come to you as that track slicked off a little bit. But you got that break from the yellow. It made life a little bit easier. And then, of course, you dodged the bullet. They say there's always a lucky moment somewhere along the way. And for that
Have to be.
damage not to be severe, it certainly gave you an opportunity to go out there and seal the deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're as much as you want to say you win these races because you're good. It's majority of it's luck, especially there in that building. I was lucky enough to obviously not get that Nerf bar punched back in my tire, and I was lucky enough to get through my heat races on my prelim night, and I was lucky enough to still run second on my prelim night to Bell. So um, luck is a bigger thing to have than skill at that point. And obviously, you got to be good to win these races, but you also need a lot of luck. And um, I told my guys, I said, if I don't win this, my car is probably destroyed. So um, I was down and determined that this thing
Checkers or
is coming
wreckers?
back as a 100%, man, 100%. I told Bell too. I said I was winning that thing. Like this was gonna
That's
happen.
awesome.
So
I was winning
um,
it, or you weren't.
Yeah, right, right.
yeah, I mean
So,
it's name of the game.
so Tanner, did you run with Seavey out west as well? Is that about the same time?
Yeah, we grew up racing go karts together. Yep.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. We had him on, and of course, we've helped him out with Fatheads for a few years, and great guy as well. And
Yep.
I was I was I was watching him run and watched him go from absolute hero to just out of it in the prelim night. And I mean, it was unbelievable because he was there. He was there. He was ready. I mean, like, he was going to get there. And I mean, Swindell, a lot of people have caught up, and it isn't like it used to be. Although they're still great. They're still good. They're still Swindells, but it was just amazing to watch it, and that's what happens. And you were talking about that building. There's a lot of luck that goes in there from time to time that you're able to pull through, whatever it may be, and so it's fun to see that. It's fun. Kaylee Bryson making it in. I was very impressed. I mean, she was not going to be denied. I mean, did you get to see her run that part stout?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just unbelievable. But yeah, all the guys from Toyota that were there, and I've had a long relationship with those guys, and they couldn't say enough great things about Tanner winning. And yeah, we came up one short, but you know what? It was okay. We came up short too, so it was pretty cool to hear that.
I think it was kind of the theme. The theme of the week is what I felt was, it seemed like we always had the dominant players on their prelim nights. McIntosh had two working. I think Larson had, God, what do you have? I think he had four working, and maybe it's five consecutive now. For sure, Rico, five consecutive now. Bell, seven consecutive prelim wins. But every one of those drivers were put to the test. I mean, McIntosh, got beat as Carrick jumped in there. Larson got beat. And Rico nearly got beat when Chase Randall passed him down on the bottom and then decided to go to the top. I think if he stays on the bottom, man, he gives Rico everything he can handle. And then, of course, you're all over Bell. So I felt like the entire field, where some of those cars had been dominant in the past years, they're not dominant anymore. All of you guys are really, really close.
Yeah, I just think it's the times change, right? And I mean, I've been fortunate to be fast for several years there, being different cars and being with Keith as well. So I think times come, and you mentioned that, like, what do you say, Kevin or the Swindells? People have caught up, and I'd just be curious to see. And I've said this to him: is where would they stand if Kevin was still racing it?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
always been my question, because
oh
that
yeah,
car's fast and Logan shows it, but that car is also built for Kevin. So what would Kevin be doing? I think Kevin would all be giving us fits, no doubt, if not waxing our asses. So um, yeah, it's crazy to see the times just from when I started racing in 2013 to now, um, of where everybody's at and where they stand and how they go throughout a year. I never really paid attention to that um, over the years, but the last couple of years, I've really paid attention just to how fast one team goes, and then they kind of slow down and they fade off, and then they get back at it, and um, it's been kind of my goal to just stay consistent, as much as I can throughout the years.
Hey, man, I'm going to ask you to reflect back here one more time as we get closer to the end of this show. 2019, you finished 10th at the Chili Bowl, and then about a month and a half later or so, you were in a nasty wreck, cracked sternum, broken ribs, punctured lung. You were in a bad way, dude. It was a tough moment for you, and you did what Tanner Thorson does. I mean, I think everybody, all of your friends, all your colleagues, everybody that has watched you through your career understands that you're a badass, dude. You're a scrapper, and that's what it is. And 3 months later, you won your first race after that incident. Talk me through that time, man. How hard was it for you?
Difficult. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to be able to race again, or be at least be able to race to the level I was at. I sat in that damn hospital bed, and just like doctors do, they tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's going to be 9 months, and blah 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 blah. And um, I feel like I've always been kind of a go getter, and um, always been kind of told no, and still done it to a certain extent. Um, but it was a hard time. I definitely changed my outlook on a lot of things. I feel like made me a better person, and kind of built my end goal up even higher, just based off of how fast I got back, and my success after that. So um, I definitely you know took a big look at what I was doing in my life, and it changed me for the better.
Yeah, an incredible time. I mean, and of course, we were all afraid for you, and we were all wondering the same thing. But to come back as quickly as you did and put that thing back on top of the box again was, I think, it was a relief to everybody. And then, of course, to see you proceed the way you have up into, this past Saturday night, it's quite an effort, man. And Rico said it. I think everybody was really happy with the outcome. I mean, from the chassis builder to the engine builder, and sentimentally to you, to watch you race as hard as you've raced for so long. And listen, man, I mean, there's a lot of luck inside of that building, but when the same people keep winning all the time, they make a lot of their luck. I mean, you guys are incredibly talented, and your 2013 National Midget Rookie of the Year. You talked about starting off in 2013, and to do everything you've done along the way, that's far from luck. That's a lot of preparation. That's a lot of hard work, and it's a massive amount of skill that you have.
Just comes down to dedication to the sport, I feel like. And when I was given opportunity, I had to strike on it, and if I wanted to race cars for a living, I had to make it make it work. So before I was racing for Keith, I was sitting back in Nevada racing go-karts in California every weekend. And my mom worked at the sheriff's office, and I thought that was kind of going to be my route on what I was going to do in life. I didn't even know what midget racing was, except for I knew Rico was going back and forth, and I knew a little bit about Chili Bowl, and I started going to Chili Bowl in 2011, I think, with David Abreu. And I thought I was going to be a police officer. That was kind of my goal in life. And once I went midget racing and realized like this was a job, I felt like I just strapped down and went for it. And my crew chief that I met with in 2015, Lee Lindgren, he kept telling me I was a student of the sport back when I was working with him in 15, and then back in 18 again. And I feel like I've definitely like taken that and built off that. It's something that like I want to be the best. I want to be one of the best and one of the top guys in this sport, whether it's midget, non-wing, or wing cars or whatever. So, and at that point, you just kind of have to have dedication and do your best at everything you do.
So tell us what your plans for 22. That was my question earlier, and I think we got broke. So what's your plans?
Um, we're gonna race wing cars quite a bit. That's Andy wants to do it. I want to do it. The team wants to do it. Well, I think the team wants to do it, but we're gonna go down to Florida and run the USAC midget and non-wing car down there at Bubba, and then I think we'll go to East Bay with the All Stars, and then kind of shoot from there on what we're gonna do. We kind of have a schedule put together, just haven't really went over it together. And I don't know. We'll see.
I think you'll be great in the All Stars, man. You are dedicated and stepping up to that level. I mean, not taking anything away from USAC, because there's an unbelievable amount of things that go on in USAC that it's not easy to win. And anybody can. I mean, I shouldn't say anybody. There's probably 5 to 6 cars that can win any night. That you're battling in and out with, and so you taking it to the All Stars. I mean, we watched what Sunshine did over there, which he's doing great. I think that with Grant sliding over there doing a little bit. I mean, the All Stars are going to have a pretty badass package over there, which is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think Tony's worked really, really hard to get the All Stars where they are. He puts a lot of effort into it, and obviously, the Outlaws are the top, wing team. But I think Tony has a really good close second, and I got to go where the money's at, plain and simple. Go back to talking about racing for a living, and it just you're not gonna I'm not gonna live the life I want to live, just racing midgets and non-wing cars like we did. So I just kind of have to, I feel like it's kind of everybody's route here lately is trying to make more money doing what we love to do, and wing racing just seems to be the route that everybody's going. And once again, not taking anything away from USAC, like you said, it's just USAC is such a big sanctioned, series that I wish we could race for more, and it'd be a lot easier to stay around all the time. And but some people gotta jump and go when the opportunities prevail.
Well, I think we're getting ready to wrap up, but one thing that I want to tell you, don't lose your interview skills, because after you won, I was like, my man. I was like, hey, clearly didn't. I mean, I knew who you were, and I've watched you race a lot, and I love it. I mean, that is the most fun when you see somebody come out and they're that energized and I mean, just ready to rip, and lay it all.
I was
on the
about to
line
pass out. Not from being drunk.
Like...
Drunk was later. Yeah, drunk was being later, but I was about to pass out when I went across the flag stand. I just grabbed my steering wheel out of the trailer, and it's bent. And, like, I don't know why, but I think I grabbed it so hard and pushed down because I was so just pumped up. I mean, the whole thing is just like an opposite dish wheel. It's just dished out.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And you definitely put Gary's motor to the test. I know you tried to kill it, but it was still running when you shut it off. So I'm sure Gary will go in there and take a look at the valve train in that one. It probably needs a little massaging. But
yeah, right.
That thing ain't going nowhere. Let me tell you, that thing's staying in there. I told Gary, I text Gary, I said, hey, Gary, I told him thank you, and whatnot. And I said, hey, by the way, I'm sorry about the motor. And he said, you win that race, you do whatever you want. I was like, cool. I said, by the way, we need to talk about this motor because I don't think it's coming out of this car. He said, okay, well, let's figure it out. So, yeah, man, it's a surreal feeling. And, got a lot of great people that are behind me with Factory Cane shocks, Spike chassis, Stanton SR11, AL drivelines, Amy Electrical, just all of our guys, Brown and Miller, Bradbury Company, they came on board this week on Casey's car and then also on mine. And, just a lot of great people, and chemistry is everything when it comes down to having success. And I just can't thank all my guys enough for it.
Well, you said it just a few moments ago that you want to dig hard and you want to be the best. Well, you, my friend, as it stands right now, if you win the USAC National Midget Championship, somebody might argue there's some other players and some other sanctioning bodies, but when 381 of them show up and it's a record number of entries, you, my friend, are the absolute best in the planet as it stands right now today. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys, and thanks for all the support, and hopefully we can get back on here and talk to you guys here soon.
Awesome. Tanner Thorson with us here on The Skinny. An exciting moment. Thanks for the memories. It was a pleasure to watch you do what you do, man. So much fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for being with us here on The Skinny. This episode has been brought to you by Toyota, Rhino Classifieds, Dream Giveaway, and General Tire. For the latest in sunglasses, optical frames, accessories, and apparel, be sure to check out fatheads.com. That's Fatheads with a Z. Production facilities provided by Fatheads Eyewear Studios. All rights reserved.